Now, let's talk about classification of attacks with relation to security goals. There are three types of security attacks.
First, threat to confidentiality.
There are two types, snooping and traffic analysis. Another type of security attack is threat to integrity. There are four types: modification, masquerading, replaying, and repudiation.
Last but not the least, the third type of security attack is threat to availability. Denial of service is a type of this threat. Snooping is the first threat to confidentiality. Snooping refers to unauthorized access to data. For example, a file transferred through the internet may contain confidential information. An unauthorized person may intercept the transmission and use the contents for their own benefit.
Let's see an example to understand this concept better. Here, the attacker Eve wants to log into Bob's system. To get access, the attacker tries to guess Bob's password.
The attacker sends 12345 as a password, but since it is not the correct password, Bob's system responds with an error message.
After the attacker receives this error message, then the attacker may try another password, for example, ABCDE, but since this is also incorrect, an error message is returned again. The attacker now tries Alice as password. A successful welcome message is returned. The attacker has gained access to Bob's system by guessing a number of passwords.
Another threat to confidentiality is traffic analysis. Traffic analysis is an attack to discover communication. It can be applied even if messages are encrypted. Assume Alice sends messages to Bob, but an attacker in the middle is able to detect the messages. The attacker can gain information from these interrupted messages. Here, the attacker can conclude that Alice and Bob know each other.
Moving on to threat to integrity, we have modification. After accessing information, the attacker modifies the information to make it beneficial to them. We can see in this example that the lady is trying to send a message to the man, but the attacker changes the message before the man receives it. This is message modification. Masquerading happens when the attacker impersonates somebody else. For example, the attacker here pretends to be the lady and sends message to the man. Replaying is another attack. The attacker obtains a copy of a message sent by a user and later tries to replay it. As you can see in this example, the lady is asking the man to pay only €100, but the attacker captures this message and sends it again, which leads the man to think that he has to pay €200 in total. Repudiation occurs when either sender denies that the message was sent, or receiver denies that the message was received.
Denial of service is an example for threat to availability. It is a very common type of attack. As you can see in the example here, the attacker is sending unnecessary requests to overload Bob's computer. The attacker might send so many bogus requests to a server that the server crashes because of heavy load. The client might think that the server is not responding.